This is clearly a parody and not intended for kids. Viewer discretion advised. Story Time with Tom Foolery presents The Littlest written by Antonio Carter. The littlest was very sad. Why? He was lonely and so small that none of the other animals would ask him to play. It was no fun being the littlest. I'll ask them to play, then they'll like me for sure, thought the littlest cock. Mustering up all the courage he could, the littlest cock approached a very big dog. "Big dog," he said, "I'd like to play a game with you." "Sure," said the big dog. But what game could a little cock play with such a big dog? Asked the littlest cock.
"There's only one game I can think of,"
said the big dog.
"A sword fight."
And with that, a vicious sword fight ensued. The littlest cock quickly found that he was too small to fight with a dog so big. His sword was tiny compared to the big dog's sword. The littlest cock soon had a massive case of sword envy.
"Don't be blue, little cock,"
said the big dog.
"Maybe playing with me isn't the best idea. Did you ever think about playing with the pussies? They're much softer and gentler than I am. I'm sure you'd fit right in,"
he said, gesturing to the pussy's door. "That sounds like a great idea," said the littlest cock. The littlest cock marched cheerfully over to play with the pussies, but they wouldn't even let him through the door. He heard some scattered meowing, but the door did not budge. The littlest cock was disappointed. "The pussies won't let me in," the littlest cock said frantically.
"Well, of course they won't, you silly little cock. Don't you know anything? You can't just knock on a pussy's door and expect them to let you come inside and play."
"You can't?"
"No, of course not."
"Well, how do I get pussies to let me in?"
"You have to bring them food,"
said the big dog. And the littlest cock knew just what to do. He made a magnificent dish that he thought would be enough to woo the pussies. It was a large bowl of delicious cream. He really hoped it wouldn't spill and get the pussies wet. Just as the big dog predicted, the pussies opened the door and let the littlest cock come inside. The littlest cock was so happy to be playing with the pussies. Some of them were soft and bushy, while others were bold and pink. The littlest cock didn't care. He was just glad to be there. But the pussies did not share his enthusiasm. In fact, the pussies barely even noticed the little cock was there. One pussy said, "Is he in yet?" And another shouted, "The things we do for free food." This made all the pussies chuckle, and the littlest cock began to feel embarrassed. The littlest cock made a dramatic exit. Not that the pussies cared. "Glad that's done," he heard as he was leaving. "It didn't work," the littlest cock complained. "The pussies let me play, but they didn't like me. I think they wanted to play with a bigger cock."
"Probably,"
said the big dog.
"Why don't you try playing with the asses? They're usually open to accepting newcomers, but they can be really messy."
"The asses?" questioned the littlest cock. I never thought about them. I don't mind their messiness, but how do I get them to play with me?
Just send the asses an impressive picture of yourself, and they'll gladly invite you over. They're a lot easier to win over than the pussies.
The littlest cock thought and thought. He really wanted to impress the asses so they would play with him. It has to be an impressive picture, he said to himself, and he suddenly knew what to do. He sent the asses a very impressive picture, but it wasn't a picture of him. It was a picture of a much bigger cock. A big, black cock, to be exact. The asses were thrilled. So thrilled, they sent the littlest cock an invitation to come and play. The littlest cock was so happy. He put on a pair of latex galoshes because he'd heard that asses could be messy, and walked cheerfully over to their pen. That cheer quickly faded when he showed up to play and witnessed their disappointment. The asses whispered to each other, "This isn't the cock from the picture at all. Well, is he rich?" After much debate, the asses decided to let the littlest cock stay and play a few rounds of their favorite game, pin the tail on the donkey. The game started well enough. The asses were pinning on the tails left and right, but the littlest cock wasn't as fortunate. The littlest cock's small size prevented him from being effective. He even tried climbing up on several stacked boxes, but that only led to him falling and smacking one of the asses. The asses were left terribly unsatisfied, and the littlest cock was left injured. He'd hurt his wing smacking the ass during his fall. It was a very muscular ass. The littlest cock was back to being sad again. He felt hopeless and just wanted to be left alone. He left the asses and went to sit by himself at the lake. The littlest cock was ready to throw in the towel. He'd almost died in a sword fight with a big dog. The pussies barely noticed him, and the asses were left completely unsatisfied. Whatever should he do? It was at that moment that the littlest cock noticed a glistening in the water. What on earth is... But before he could finish his sentence, a gigantic catfish leapt from the water and hovered in the air. Beautiful and sparkling everywhere. It was like nothing the littlest cock had ever seen. He was in awe. "Hello there, little cock," said the catfish. "I have a gift for you." "A gift for me," said the littlest cock. The majestic catfish nodded and reached inside of its mouth to remove something that was embedded in its cheek. The catfish pulled a shiny golden tassel hanging from a small hook out of its mouth. Written on the front of the tassel were the words, "Before you play with others, you must play with yourself first." "This," said the catfish, "is the master bait, and it is my gift to you. Take it and allow it to help you understand that you must learn yourself first. You are no good at playing because you've never played. Play alone for a while, and once you've gotten better, give it another shot." The littlest cock stared at the master bait with astonishment. It was incredibly beautiful. He accepted the gift graciously, and the catfish warned him. Littlest cock, be warned. Keeping the master bait too long could cause dire consequences. Playing alone is important, but when done too long, it can make you forget the beauty of companionship. At some point, you must pass the master bait onto some other little cock in need. For your sake, and theirs. But how will I know when to pass it on? Asked the littlest cock. You will know when the time comes. And with that, the majestic catfish vanished. Days passed, and the littlest cock was as happy as he'd ever been. So happy that he'd forgotten all about his troubles with the big dog, the pussies, and the asses. The master bait completely changed his life. He felt he didn't need anyone to play with him, as long as he had the master bait. Suddenly, he understood the catfish's warning. He was pondering his newfound knowledge of the master bait when he heard a dainty little voice say, "Hi there, I'm the littlest hen." "Hello, I'm the littlest cock," he said, turning red in the cheeks, and they both giggled. It was love at first sight. Several months went by, and the littlest cock was building his very first nest with the littlest hen. While adjusting branches, the littlest cock noticed a tiny cock roaming across the yard, looking very sad. It was the tiniest cock he'd ever seen. And at that very moment, he heard the echo of the catfish saying, "You will know when the time comes." He held up the master bait and yelled to the tiniest cock, "Hey, I have a gift for you." The Tiny But Long End. The Littlest Cock, written by Antonio Carter, narrated by Tom Foolery. A very special thank you to Antonio Carter for sending us this tiny but quite long release. More coming soon from him. Be sure to follow him on social medias. Links on screen now, I believe. Let us know in the comments section if you like a long one, or if you prefer it short and snappy, to the point. Get it over and done with kind of thing. You know. Talking about the story, of course, you dirty Gertie. Finger the links on screen. More story time coming soon. See you next Tuesday.